Welcome to a new Immortal Hours with Frater SH. My name is S. Duck. Well, sweetie Frater, I have watched for the past few months all the drama and chaos between you and Mr. Peck, and I am glad that last show you two seemed to get along. Sometimes I have to be a mom to the two of you.
Well, thank you, S. Duck, for opening the show and continuing reminder about the past issues between me and idiot over here. Uh, uh, yeah. Well, you can't introduce me that way. That's not ethical. Uh, who says that we're ethical? You're the one who keeps harping we're heels. Well, this young lady here has been putting up with us for a long time. And it's because of your shenanigans. You're so up there. I sometimes wonder you should be in a widow ward. Oh, oh, you say I should be. Oh, you know what I'm saying is right. Oh, oh yeah. Well, you're the one who's out of line. Oh, hey, wait a minute, buddy. I'm the one who's like I run things behind the scenes, you know that. Yeah, you know, uh, I loved it when you listen to this. We're gonna get into this. In that original freighter back, when was that? Well, with your senility, it's understandable that you would forget. It was like in 2023, I believe, 2023. Time. All right. Listen. You struggled against me. You struggled against my storylines. And in the end, you little peon, you lost. Austin, you lost. You're fired. You're lost. Well, you can't fire me. I know we're in the same matrix. If I try to fire you, it would just end up being a storyline. And I can't have you go to Metrotrek too. I know that would be really awkward. I don't even really know if Matrick, I mean, if that other guy, Well, don't give away, who really runs things over there, But yeah, Doc Manny or whoever his name is, I don't think he wants two freighters. He's got one. That would be kind of weird for branding, that he's got apparently a guy who claims to also be freighter SH. It would be kind of like everybody. It would be like when WWE had two Undertakers. That was kind of really stupid. Like I mean, yeah, at first it actually was interesting because the $1 Million Man brought back the Undertaker, and it's like, wait a minute, is he a heel now? And understand Brian Lee really did look like the Undertaker. So it was it back in 1994. If anyone, I don't even know. I hate to say this. What are you gonna bring on? Oh, Raider, do you think when this show airs, there's on Peacock, they're gonna have WWE anymore? Because at the time we recorded this, they were talking about the beginning of that next year that they were not gonna, that they hadn't signed a deal or something, and are they gonna lose all those archives and all those pay-per-views? That's horrible to even think about. It is terrible. And I'm gonna be honest with you, behind the scenes, we're recording a lot of like good matches from there and just building a huge folder for ourselves, because then that way, if there is no more WWE Network, we can just like have our own WWE Network. Even though it's not like complete pay-per-views, it'll be like the best matches from each pay-per-view, Because some pay-per-views sometimes they had like maybe they had like a mediocre kind of match, but it's kind of worthwhile to clip. And when we say clip, we mean clip the whole match. We don't mean like parts of it. That would drive us nuts. No, we go over the whole thing, entrances and even replays. So, yeah. So, are we a video game show? Here we go again. Also, by the way, you lost. All right, at the end of that season. But I review that Mr. Peck, bad Mr. Peck, was me, Mr. Pennypacker. And I'm not going to switch voices for that. But let's be honest, you're taken away. And you knew you lost because because I'm in control of all this. I know. So you can like joust with me on this show. I allow it because it's the only content we have we talk about it Nintendo games. I can't get you to do anything. I can't listen. I can't get you to play Skyrim. What is wrong with you? Like, why I should really say, what is wrong with your personality? The other one, the guy who's over at Metrotrek, the other freighter, he loves Bethesda games because of NES. I- 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 what does the marquee say on the show? It says that we cover NES games, good NES games. I even have you put Back to the Future on my desk. I will flip that desk. I know. That's why I don't do it because we can't afford to keep buying new desks. You're a Sith Lord now. You remember what Kylo Ren did to that one room in Force Awakens? He just trashed it. Yeah, yeah, I remember that. That was kind of funny. I know it was funny. And it's because he's kind of an emo kid. He was like an edge lord. That it People Force Awakens was actually kind of comedy. You know, they really thought they kind of like when Disney was doing those Star Wars movies, they really thought they had one. Like they were like, "Oh, we got an idea how to do this. We could do it like George." And they just ended up like copying George's system of a ring his ring they call it the Star Wars sort of like ring cycle or what is it called? Basically what you do is you just have that all the events in the story actually harken back to something that has already happened, kind of like of course, that's actually George's style. Lucas actually came up with deciding to do that, even though and then the original movies there was nothing to, to to do some kind of flashback to. Okay. Ugh. But really, like I lost to you? Like, of course, you're now a flunky. Did you not think about that? You came to the conclusion. I could see it when I brought you. I did this to you, that you had lost. You cannot defeat me. You can't defeat me, Mister Pettypacker. What do you think of that? Well, I think it sucks. Wow, wow. You.
Boys, would you stop? We have a show to do. Now, Mr.
Okay, okay. We calm down. I like how we were just using the same voice for her, like the same voice file for her when she tells us to calm down, and then she tells me something and it gets cut off. Like, we're just so lazy. We don't even care to even like properly edit that right. Well, it's not like we have like a million people watching or something. Not Hollywood production, man. Well, it's definitely not a Hollywood production. Well, just to interrupt you, well, say thank you to IG88 for last episode for that nice, very nice Final Fantasy history lesson, and uh, yeah, yeah, uh, IG88. Let's be honest, Frater. I think I can see your point that basically IG88 is good as a history buff. We kind of had the same thing going for a long time with with Peter, Mr. Graves, and he used to do that for us, and yeah, of course, I didn't. I hated it, and it's like, yeah, well, the real, Mr. Peck, that he he wasn't a fan of it either. But you know, what happened was, like with myself, I started to see the quality in it because let's be honest, no one's lying here. We don't do any research for this. We really don't. We don't, like we have a Wikipedia page open, maybe, but we don't always really deep dive. It's kind of just how we do things, and it's a Bush League show, and it's how it is. So, IG88, we switched your voice to freeform as opposed to German, the German TTS. Just talk to us for a little bit, because otherwise you're not included in this episode, which is a little weird to have the fourth man not be able to say anything. Well, I want to say that I thank you for everything, and uh, the last episode was quite good. That allowed me to really deep dive into the Final Fantasy history. It's a wonderful thing to be able to talk about the best NES games of all time. Well, you're welcome, IG. So, actually, in truth, he says a lot less when we have freeform. Well, it's because I can't really think of what to have him say. I know. It's kind of like, okay, we got to say, what would a robot say in this predicament? But yeah, there's a place for IG88, and it's like I said, a lot of our characters here on Sattergrad get killed too quick, and yeah, it's because we follow like a Greek tragedy platform. Yeah, well, Greek tragedies are like that, where basically, you have a character who has committed some kind of vile crime, and then usually, there's some good parts to the character, but he's committed a real atrocity. And so as a result, he's going to he's going to fall hard. He's going to fall hard. I took a classical mythology class in college, and it was so worthwhile because even though it was not part of the curriculum, I added it to it, and it was basically so worthwhile to do. You know. Uh, so writer, anything else? Nah, we gotta get to the game. We're having a pretty lengthy monologue. Actually, this buff has been had lengthy monologues. Uh, I guess it just depends on how the ADHD hits us. Sometimes we got more serotonin in the brain. Well, a lot of times, here's the deal: if we're filming on a Friday, there's no cookies on Friday. I usually get a pack of cookies on Saturday. Yeah, it's good to have some kind of treat on Saturday. And, that sugar really does hit your brain pretty good, and it gives you that extra serotonin, Now it's good to add a little science to your brain. It kinda helps, It helps the creative energies, and also helps that we're getting close to ending a project here and, at least for this year, and then, of course, eventually this show will be back on the menu for, the next, for next year and all that. Yeah, we do it. We will do it. The 2026 cycle is going to be rough. I mean, we're not going to talk all about it, but it's going to be a lot more than we've ever done, and it's not going to be easy. No, it's not. Let's get on with Final Fantasy. Here we go, and we're back to playing Final Fantasy. I know it's been a little while since I've recorded one of these. Uh, kind of got kind of lazy with the commentary the last month, and well, actually last 2 months, just doing one general commentary over this, and I'm afraid to say this month I may very well do this again because Well, there's just not a lot to talk about. It's it's turn-based combat. You're taking on these sea hags and stuff, and or whatever enemies, and trying to work your way up in the world, get better weapons and better armor, and get those levels up so that you have more health points, so you can take more damage and dish out more damage. And probably this month, even though it's the end of the, end of the year, that probably we'll do it again, because I don't know, kind of really can't really think of too much, as far as like commentary. I mean it gets, look, man, we're not getting any kind of copyright from the old NES music so far, so as long as we're not getting flagged or anything like that we have to go through the system and remove it, I'll let you know. YouTube has become quite nice about that. They've if we get a copyright, you can actually choose to have it trimmed, and I don't really care. I know someone's gonna be like, "What? All of a sudden you'll be talking, you just." Yeah, so it's last Wednesday. It was last Wednesday. That's when that happened. Yes, there was a big bada boom, and it's like yeah, but well, that was actually Friday, and yeah, that's true. There will be cuts, There was a project we had where there was a lot of cutting. There was a lot of cutting. Because there was a lot of freaking copyrighted music. And it was funny too, because YouTube was even like, they're like, it was funny because they wouldn't tell you all the copyrighted content in one go. Like, it would just like give you like 2 or 3 things, and then all of a sudden, like 3 weeks later, and it's like, oh yeah, there's a copyright notice here, but you're like going, well, wait a minute, I trimmed that. I swear I trimmed that. And it's like, no, you didn't. No, it's the thing hadn't really like completed all its searches. Probably it's because it's got to do a whole site-wide search. It's probably got to go through some like database, and each sound of your video tries to see what can trigger. That's probably how it works. Which I can assume that's a very slow system. Yeah. So, but with these Final Fantasy 1, we've had no issue, and the sound is great. I actually am going to be honest with you. Do you really need this commentary with this? I mean, it's got great sound. You can kind of relax to it. It's kind of ASMR in a way. I mean, old NES games had a real charm for sounds. I like ASMR, and I know someone could be like, "Oh no, you mean the girls that lick the plastic ears?" And there was a time before that wasn't like that. Yeah, you always had some booby girl, would show the boobies, and she would be like making like kissy sounds and stuff, and it was to get, men are crazy. They'll really go crazy with endorsing their favorite women, because it's hard to find a girlfriend. So these guys, they don't have their own personal S-ducks and stuff like that. And by the way, on the screen, I know you're gonna go SS Duck. Is she like, does she support the German Chancellor of World War II? No, it's because you're only allowed 4 letters. So we could have actually put down S and then DUK or DUC for S Duck. But hey, sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes you got lemons, and sometimes you end up with lemonade. Yeah. sometimes, a lot of times when we work on the, you can always tell a fresh recording session because, like, my brain is like just active, it's firing off. The commentary section of this episode was like 20 minutes. It was like actually really good, you know, a good long show, and it's just because our creativity was fired up. But also it's because we're at the end of this project for the year. So we just need to put this stuff together and then upload it, and that's one more project done. That's one more project done. That's pretty good. Then, of course, we go on to another project, and who knows, maybe in like 20 years, maybe. I always thought it would be neat, like, if a person asked if you won the lottery, what would you do? And I would make a company, like, I would just literally sit all day making episodes like this, and creating a huge archive with the idea that literally, like, 100 years later, all the company has to do is upload the episode to the YouTube channel. Wouldn't that be nuts? Like, people would be like people would start covering it. Like, this guy, he's been uploading episodes for over 100 years. Is he dead by now? And they're like, yeah, I think he would be dead by now. I mean, is he AI or something? I mean, it sounds like a real person. Of course, there'll probably come a time where AI is like too real. It's sounding too much like a normal person, you know, because real people, you know, there are pauses, there are people who have ums and ahs and stuff. But yeah, so as you can see, there isn't a lot to commentate on, you know, like, you just grind. And actually, I know, like, somebody could say, like, how, like, is that why there isn't turn-based games anymore? Because it's kind of boring? No. Well, the problem is most companies have the marketing people take over the companies instead of, like, the engineers and the people who actually understand these products. Like Steve Jobs, there's some interviews with him that are just like, he was like smart. He was a smart artist. He was truly an artist. He would flat out tell you that he had worked for companies who literally, the reason why the companies went downhill was because they had just marketing people, and they were only interested in the current product. They didn't care about making new innovations, and they sat on innovations with I may have trailed off. But you know, with this game, it's, you know, what I was about to explain this, like, why did Final Fantasy turn away from turn-based combat, is because these marketing people thought that those kinds of things were too slow. I mean, the current Final Fantasy came out. I mean, yeah, you know, it's like a 100-hour game. Wow, that's pretty huge, but then again, there's like hours and hours of cutscenes, so it's not like you're controlling that. It's a movie too. That's kind of nuts, you know. And where with this, you control all of it. And to me, this is the real Final Fantasy. Okay. So, you know, this is the real Final Fantasy. And, yeah, I hate to say it, I'm probably going to be reusing this copy the rest of the month. I feel like, you know, this is pretty good. This pretty much covers it, you know, it covers it pretty much, you know, fully, you know. You know, if any new viewers come in, you know, they can kind of pick this up or whatever, you know. And then for the rest of the video, you can just enjoy the music and the sound effects. I don't know, you know, I have some autism and ADHD and stuff, but this game always kind of, like, it was very relaxed. That Ultima Exodus, I mean, that's another one The only thing with that game, oh, that's good. That pirate's not gonna be a bother anymore. Better not. We'll kick your butt again. But I lost my train of thought again. I saw the little pirate guy. Now we're fighting against the shredders again. Of course, I'm trying to avoid saying the name of the enemies because, you know, if I'm going to reuse this, I don't want it to not like match. I want it to match up with. I want to try to do the best I can to not like talk about the actual action because there'll be a point where I say, oh, well, there's a big elephant on the screen, and it's like, no, there isn't. Yeah, it's because the commentary's old. Okay. Well, I'll see you next episode, and you know, it's the end of the month, and be on our way to 2026. Good times, great times. See ya.